In mathematics, whenever we talk about function, we see the expression, but we have all the graphs of this function. So this geometrical interpretation will clearly say what properties they have, how do they behave. Identity function. So function is what? Function is, if you understand, like a box, a machine. So it will get some input processing will be done, and you'll get some output. That means whatever you put inside, say you're putting x and you're getting y. That is why we write the function as y equals fx. This f is for function for this machine, x is for the input value, and this function works on this input value and you get y as some output. So this input, for example, you put sugar cane and then output it's juice, sugar cane juice. So the juice will come under certain category, in juice category. The sugar cane will come under agriculture, some food. So how a food or say agriculture product is converted into juice. So input is different, output is different. Okay. So now let us go to the mathematical interpretation. So we have real numbers, which is the whole set of all the numbers possible. Identity function. Identity literally means same thing. If I talk to you, I say, who are you? You'll say your name. You'll tell your identity. And you are the only one on this whole globe. Okay, you have a separate identity. So you are what? You are. If anybody say who you are what? You are. That is, why I'm saying all this is y equals fx, the identity function is same. Y and x are same. If you put in this machine, you put in this function machine, say 2, you'll get 2 out. You put -3, -3, you'll get -3 out. So whatever you put inside, you're going to get exactly similar same value. So you're putting any type of value. There is no restriction. So what all things you can put is the domain. So domain is all real number. And what is coming out? Every number you are putting, so every number can come. So this is the biggest set, real number. So it's a real number. So domain is real number, all value you can put inside this function. And output is same, so it's also real number. So this is a function from R to R, real number to real number. You're putting real number, you're getting real number. Because the numbers are same. There is no change, there is no modulation. So how to make this? Always we make it on a Cartesian coordinate system. Cartesian coordinate system have two perpendicular lines. The horizontal line is called x-axis, the vertical line is called y-axis, and we divide them into steps, that is very small parts of equal distance. And we plot every x and y. X you are putting, y you are getting. X comma y you plot here. Okay. So y equals fx means x is an independent variable. Y is dependent on function because function will do something on x. So y is a dependent variable. So we always take this x and y, x comma y. So let us see here. If you put x as 0, y is 0. Y equals x is the function, is the identity function. So when always we make a table of x and y. Always put x, get y, because y equals x is the equation. So put x 0, y 0, x 1, y 1, x minus 1, y 1. We always try to take the value near the origin. Always x value near origin. Normally 0, -1, -2 and 1 and 2. These values we generally take. So we have this 0, 0. Now 1, 1 I am plotting x distance 1, y distance 1. Now -1, -1. So 2, 2. If you put 2, you'll get 2 because y is equal to x. It's an identity function. Similarly, -2, again -2 will come. Whatever you put inside, you are going to get the same thing. Now you have to make a line from here. This blue line which has been made is passing through all these points, and this is the graph. This line is passing through the origin. This is also called as a mirror line. Whenever we talk about the inverse of the function, this mirror line becomes very important, because the function and its inverse will always be mirror image of one another, like log function, exponential function. They are mirror image of one another. This line is at 45 degree, inclined at 45 degrees. The slope m is 45 degree. Slope is 1 basically. M tan theta, tan 45 is 1 for this line. This is identity function. Constant function. The name itself suggests it's constant, never change. So we have a function y equals fx. This is all this formulation of function. So in this machine, this function machine, if we pass anything at all, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -half. If I write this function, a constant function, let me just give an example. Say y equals 3. 3 is a constant. That is why it is a constant function. C is a constant function. C is a constant number. It will not change. That is why you have to fix it. So you see this function has no x. So whatever you are putting inside x is not going inside function, because the output is always 3. Okay? You cannot put x. There is no x here. Y equals 3. So it will always be y equals 3. Why is it? You just assume it is x to the power 0. Okay? Whatever you put is x inside, doesn't matter. You put any value, any possible value, so the domain will be all real number. Real number is the biggest set of the number. And the range is what? Only one value is coming outside. You feed anything, it will always give you 3. So this constant which we used here is, let us see and say it as k, or sometimes in books you see c. So domain is real number, we could put anyone. Range is only one value, that is the output. So this is a singleton set, and that singleton set will have only one value which is coming out. So domain is all the real number possible, because you can put anything. But the range, the output, is saying no, you give me anything, I'll just give you k. That is the constant. So this is a singleton set. Okay. So how to make the graph? The graph is quite simple. Y equals 3. So for any value, y will be always 3. So it will be a line horizontal and parallel to x-axis. Now we need to make it. I cannot just say and you will understand. No. We have to make it. In always coordinate system, you are putting 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. Any value you put inside this function x, y will always be a constant value. Say this is 1, this is 2, 3, and we have used y equals 3. So let me just point this, make this point. 1, 2. You put 1, 2, 3. It will be 3. You put, see, 1, 3 will be a coordinate points. -1, 3. -2, 3, everything 3, always 3. So this 3 is what? It's y equals 3, -1, -2, -3. So if you join this line, this is a line, horizontal line passing through 3, which is parallel to the x-axis. So this constant function will always be a line which is parallel to your x-axis, because it's just y. It's just a single value of y for anything you put inside this function. So it's parallel to x-axis, always parallel. It can go down also. I'm saying if y equals -3, it will be down. Now let me take a special case. Y is fx and y is 0. Because singleton can be anything. I am saying any number can come. The constant is always a single number, 0. So this is 0. That means the line which is the x-axis. So the line now is superimposed on x-axis. So this x-axis and this line are same. A line is parallel to x-axis, but it is x-axis. So always this kind of line parallel to x-axis you will find in this constant function. This is y equals negative 3. Constant function. Polynomial function. Polynomial function. What does polynomial mean? When we have nothing to say, we say poly. When we don't want to count and when we are tired, we say poly. For 1 we say uni, for 2 we say bi, for 3 we say tri, for 4 we say quad, for 5 we say penta, for 6 we say hexa. Now the numbers are countless. So the best way to talk about all these at once is say just poly, polynomial. So we have used a single word for all these kind of expressions. This is polynomial. So we have a function y equals fx. Okay. Now this is a function, and function does what? Take some value, output some value. It may be different. The value may be different. So if I just put y equals 2, this is a constant function. We already talked about it. I am going to write every polynomial, and you see they will be corresponding to some or the other function. This is nothing but 2 into x to the power 0. Anything to the power 0 is always 1. That is, anything to the power 0 is 1. So you can just write y equals 2 into x to the power 0. So this is a polynomial. This is a linear function, linear polynomial. Okay. This is also a polynomial, y equals fx. This is constant because x to the power 0 is 1. This is a constant function, linear function with a constant value. Not very linear. It's actually linear because y equals 2 is a straight line. Now change the value of power of x. I am changing the degree. First was having a degree as 0. Now x degree is 1. We have y equals 0 also. This is called a 0 polynomial. Sometimes you get y equals 0. This polynomial also has a name. It's a 0 polynomial. Y equals 3x. We'll try to look at this graph. We have seen the constant graph. It's just a straight line which is parallel to the x-axis. Okay, y equals 2 or y equals to 2x to the power 0. It's a straight line parallel to x-axis. Now this is y equals 3x. This is a linear function. Y equals 3x square plus 2. Now we have x square. Now the degree of this polynomial is 2. The second one was linear polynomial. This we call as quadratic polynomial. Square, the degree here is 2, means the highest power of x is 2 here. Whenever you go, later chapters, y equals 4ax. This is a parabola. So anything which has one variable and another variable with square power, it will give you parabola. So y equals 3x square plus 2 will be a form of parabola. This is a quadratic polynomial. Don't get confused by quadratic. Quad means 4. It is not quad 4 power. It's just 2 power. 9x cubed plus 3x square plus 2. Now we have another function. Now the degree of this polynomial is 3 because the highest power of x is 3. So x to the power 0, x to the power 1, x to the power 3, it can go up to x to the power n. Okay. So always the polynomial will have some power of x, and that will define what kind of polynomial it is, and that will define and indicate what kind of graph it is going to make. If I write this 3x squared plus 2 in ABC form, I can write it as a1x squared plus a2, or you can write b also. But the problem here is, whenever you say y equals a1x squared plus a2, when you will say it is as a quadratic polynomial or a polynomial with degree 2, until this a1 is not equal to 0. If I put a1 equal to 0, a1 into x square 0, a2 will come. This will become a constant function. This will not be a quadratic function. So in order to fulfill this, you have to say in a quadratic polynomial, a1 should not be equal to 0. So let us generalize it. So let us say a polynomial is a0 plus a1x plus a2x. So if you say quadratic, all this will be 0. If you say it's linear, all this after that will be 0. If you say constant, all thing after a0 will be 0. So whenever say we linear, we say y equals a0. So this is a0 plus a1x is linear, and you have to specifically say a1 not equal to 0. When we say quadratic, a0 plus a1x plus a2x square, If it is quadratic, you have to specifically say a2 is not equal to 0. So this is the first function you see is a linear function, second function you see is a quadratic function. a2 should not be 0, otherwise it will become linear again. So you have to be very clear to say a2 should not be 0. The value which is a coefficient of the highest power should not be 0 of that polynomial. Okay? Linear function. The first polynomial function is linear function. So this is the same form of identity function. Same form. Y equals x was what? Whatever you put in x, you get y as the same value. So 1 will give you 1, 2 will give you 2, negative 1 will give you negative 1, negative 2 will give you negative 2. So this is 1, 1, 2, 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. So if you plot this, you will get a line which is 45 degree to x-axis and passing through the origin. This was identity function. But this is y equals x. But if I add something here, the shape of the graph won't change. It will just shift. Okay? It will just shift. So a linear function is essentially equal to a straight line only. The only thing is it will change the position. Y equals x plus 10, that means you just have to shift because you are adding 10, so you have to subtract the distance. So you have to shift this graph y equals x 10 points backwards. If you have y equals x minus 10, that means you have to add 10 to make it y equals x. So just shift it 10 points, 10 steps ahead. Okay, you see here. Now the shape remains same, only the position is changing. The inclination may change, but the look and feel of the graph is not going to change. Now I am going to make this graph properly. What do you do to make a graph? You will make a table, you will put x values, try to find out the y values, because this is what function is. X is 0, what do you get as y? 0 plus 10 is 10. For x0, y is 10. For x1, y is 10 plus 1, 11. For x equals 2, 10 plus 2, 12. Okay. For x equals 2, you get, it's 12. Let us put now some negative values. Negative 1 plus 10 is 9. Negative 2, 10 minus 2 is 8. So these are the coordinates. Now you can easily point them or draw them or indicate them on a Cartesian coordinate system. These are just xy values. See, here we don't have 0, 0 in x plus 10. When we have this, x is 0, y is 10. So I pointed this. X is 1, y is 11. X is 1, y is 11. So just take step ahead. This is x1, y is 11. Just assume 11 is here. So this is 1, 11, this point. 1, 11. Okay. Now we have 2, then it will be 12. So x is 2, y is 12. So 2, 12. This is again, I'm just combining the x and y coordinate and just putting these dots. X is negative 1, y is what? It's negative 1, it's 9. For negative 2, it's 8. So negative 2, it's 8. So let's assume this is 8. So negative 2, 8 it is. This is just approximation I'm taking, right? Now x is negative 10, y will be 0. So x is negative 10, y is 0. So when it is going to cut the x-axis, that is y equal to 0 at negative 10. So x is negative 10, y is 0. Okay? Negative 10 and 0. So this, you make a line, this is y equals x plus 10. One more form of polynomial function is your quadratic function. Quadratic function. So x is, linear function y equals ax plus b form. X, the degree is 1 here, x to the power 1. But quadratic form, the degree of x is 2, x square. So b and c, just assume it to be 0 because we are interested in x to the power 2. Assume a to be 1 also. So this is the easiest form. If you are able to make y equals x square, you will be able to make y equals ax square plus bx plus c also. So the basic shape will be this, the thing which you see in this figure. The mouth will open, will close, the graph will be sometimes here, sometimes like this, sometimes it will be inverted, but the look and feel of this remains same, and that is called a parabola. So y equals x square is the most basic form of any polynomial quadratic function. So parabola it is. If you throw a ball to a distance, it will follow a parabolic path. Linear function we have already seen. Now parabola, this is quadratic function. Don't confuse quadratic. Quad means 4. But this is not the power is 2 here only. It's not 4. This is also a square function. Fx equals x square. Also called as a square function. So fx equals x cube. It will be a cube function, cubic function. But that will be another function. We'll see about that later. So this is how the function varies depending upon the degree of the polynomial, x square, x cube, x to the power 4. So how to make this? How to make it? We'll take the x value, put it here in this function, find out the y value, we'll get the coordinates. Now we'll plot this coordinate, and with a freehand drawing, we'll join these points. That is how we make it. So y equals x square I am taking. Now I am putting x as 0. When x is 0, what will be y? It will be 0. X square 0 square is y, 0 square is 0 only. Now x is say we'll take the value of negative and positive both. Y equals x square. X I am putting negative 1. Negative 1 whole square will be 1. Negative 1 into negative 1 is positive 1. So x negative 1, y is 1. X is positive 1, y is what? Positive 1 whole square is 1 only. So positive 1 also you are getting, for positive 1 you are going to get 1. Now let us put negative 2. For x equals negative 2, negative 2 whole square is 4. Now put plus 2. I am just keeping this value nearer to the origin, right? Again plus 2, it's 2 square 4. Negative 3, it will be 9. For positive 3, it will be again 9. So now just observe this. Whatever you are putting the values, the domain you can put any value. Negative, positive doesn't matter. So domain is real number. All real number you can put here. Domain is all the value which you can input. So it is not saying anything about the restriction. But whenever you see negative value is put here, the y always give you positive value. Negative 3 whole square is 9. Positive 3 whole square is also 9. So you are always getting, see, negative 3 can be written as negative 1 into 3, and negative 1 whole square is always 1. So range is all real number. This domain is always real number, but the range is always positive real number. It's R plus. It's always positive real number. So this function is from R to R plus. The function will be R to R plus, from real number to positive real number. You will never get a output as a negative number. Okay. So this is already made, but I'll just try to put these values on the graph. So let us plot it. These are coordinate values, x and y. So this is x0, y0. Negative 1 and 1, positive 1 also 1. So for negative 1, it's 1, y is 1. For positive 1 also, it's 1. Negative 1, positive 1, it's 1 only. Okay. So these are the 2 points you are getting. These are the 2 points. For negative 1, it's 1. For positive 1 also, it's 1. This is negative 1, 1. And this is 1, 1. Now coming to negative 2 and positive 2. For negative 2, positive 2, they both are 4. So negative 2, 2, positive 2, you are getting 4. This is also 4. And coming to negative 3, positive 3, So negative 3, positive 3, both ways you are getting 9, square function. So what do you get? So this is your 9. So plot it here, both will be at the same point, this also and this also. Now my handwriting is real good, so my drawing is equally good, so don't worry about that. This is the freehand drawing, this is a parabola. If you assume it to be parabola, actually this is the parabola. These are the 2 points. For 1 and negative 1 this one, for negative 2 positive this 2, for negative 3 positive 3 this, and I joined it, and this is your quadratic function. Cubic function. Cubic is a polynomial with x to the power 3, or you can say the degree of this polynomial is power 3. So how are we going to make it, and what will be the domain and range? What you see here is somewhat looking like other polynomial. Y equals x cube. X and y, let us make a table first. The best way is to find out the y value for x value which are near to the origin. So x is 0, y is 0. Now x is negative. Put negative. Negative 1 into negative 1 into negative 1 is negative 1. Y is negative 1. So negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, it is going to give you negative 1, which is unlike your square function, which will give you positive always. When you put 1, you will get 1. 1 cube is 1. Take another value, negative 2 whole cube. So it will be negative 8. Y is negative 8 here. For negative 2, you have negative 8. For positive 2, 2 into 2 into 2 is 8. For 2, you are going to get 8. The negative 3, again, since the power is odd, you will get a negative value. So that will be negative 3. 3 cube is negative 27. Plus 3, 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. For 3, you are going to get 27. Okay. Now you see here, this y is x square. The graph was all above x-axis. It was never negative, because always the x square or any power of x which is even will always give you the graph which is above axis. It will never go to the negative y-axis. But when it is x to the power odd, you will get the graph in the negative part also. So let us plot it. Just assume that this blue line is not there. My drawing is very good, so I just need to do it here only. So this is 0, 0, x is 0, y is 0. Negative 1, x is negative 1, so y is negative 1. So just plot it here and just, rounding the points. X is negative 2, y is negative 8. X is negative 2, so y is, this is not negative, x is negative 2. So y will be negative 8. This we can plot. If you see, the power is increasing. If the power is increasing, the value increases rapidly. That is how exponential functions are. If you have x to the power 4, x to the power 5, it increases rapidly. Here you have negative 2, negative 8. Now let us say 1, 1. X is 1, y is 1. X is 2, it jumps up to 8. So 2 and 8, let us assume this is the point. 2 and 8, just approximation I am taking. Andaza, approximation. X is 3, it will be here somewhere. Say 27 will be way above the screen. Now just draw the graph, and this is your cubic function graph, or y equals x cube. This is your cubic function polynomial cubic graph. So all values you can put. So the domain is real number. All values you can put. Domain is real number. You can also put minus negative 1 by 3. It doesn't matter. Range is, again, all the values it is coming, negative also, positive also, fraction it may come also. So the range is all the numbers, real numbers. Range, all the numbers, real numbers. This is a function, cubic function, R to R. This is your graph. Rational function. So rational number is what? Those numbers or those values which are of the form of p by q. So when we talk about rational functions, we are talking about two expressions, one over another. We have gx, we have hx, so this is one over another. whatever value is coming, or what is the final value of this expression, the graph will be like that. So it's not easy to make this graph, because every time the graph changes. But one thing is very important to understand here is the denominator can never be 0. So in this case, fx by hx, it is from real number to real number. This gx by hx, you see here, hx cannot be 0. For example, in this function, x cannot be equal to 4. If you have, say, ax square plus bx plus c, you can have ax plus b. So this is also a rational function. This has to be in the form of p by q. Modulus function or absolute value function. Why this is called modulus or absolute value? Because whatever you input, it will always give you a positive number. So this is a function, this is a machine. You are going to put any value, but you will get only positive value. This graph will never be in the negative part. Why? Because only positive value it is giving out. Y will always be positive. So only Y positive plotting will be there. No negative Y plotting will be there. So fx is mod x, modulus x. Why do we call it as absolute modulus? As I said, only positive values are coming. So fx, how do we define this? Since it is coming positive, so if x is greater than or equal to 0, doesn't matter, it will be x only. If you remove the these line signs, it will be mod of 2 is 2, mod of 5 is 5, because always value which is greater than or equal to 0, it will give you positive value. But when you have x less than or equal to 0, then if you put negative 5, the modulus is going to give you 5. And how it is going to come? When you multiply it by a negative 1 number. So you have to put a negative by yourself. So negative into negative becomes positive. So that will be negative x. That is, this negative x is simply the x value, which is negative 5 in this case, and multiplied by negative, which we placed by ourselves. Negative, positive. Because until we make it as positive, this modulus function will not be there. So now domain and range. Domain range are so easy here. Domain is all the real number. This function is not saying you cannot put this value or that value. You can put any value here. You will see from this plotting also. So let us plot and you will see the domain and range from here. Okay. Now if we put x as 0, this is essentially function y equals x only. Only the negative side will change. So 0, 0, x is negative 1, y will be positive 1. Because negative into negative, because we have to put our negative in front of it. Negative 1 will be positive 1. Negative 2 will be positive 2. Negative 3 will be positive 3. Similarly, positive, no problem. It is simply as y equals x. So in the first quadrant of this Cartesian coordinate system, you will see it is similar to the identity function y equals x. Always positive. Y is always positive. So the domain is allowing you to put any number, whichever is possible. So the real number, all the real number, it is accepting. What is the range? Always positive. Always positive. So this range is R plus. You can always write it as R plus, or you can write it as 0 infinity. 0 is inclusive till infinity. The range is always, it will start from 0. Infinity it goes, it will never give you negative. So the range is 0 to infinity, or you can also write it as R plus. Now let us plot this graph. So 0 to 0, this is 1 point. 1 to 1, so this is 1, this is 1, 1 to 1. This is 2 and 2, so 2, 2. Now you have 3, 3, put 3, 3. So it is exactly similar to the identity function y equals x. How about negative? Only the line in identity function will be reversed here, or will be the mirror image. So you have negative 1, positive 1, negative 2, positive 2, negative 3, positive 3. So all the y values are positive, even for a negative x value. This is the first part. which is x greater than or equal to 0. This is the second part. Negative x if x is less than 0. The modulus function, let me tell you, range is all the domain is all the real number, and range is R plus, which is x belongs to R, x is greater than or equal to 0. Signum function. This is a very special kind of function. It only gives you 3 values, whatever you put. Only 3 values are possible, and this will be 3 constant function. So this is a function which will give you in output 3 functions, 3 constant function. Okay. Let me just give you an idea here. This is the number line. You have 0, 1 and negative 1. Y will always be 0, 1 or negative 1. So if you take any value which is, in this function y equals fx, this is similar, actually equal to y equals x only. But whatever you put in x, the value which is coming out will always be 1, 0, minus 1. So if you put a value which is higher than 0, not equal to 0, higher than 0, you will always get y equals 1. So you will always get 1 here, y equals 1. You are not taking 0, so it is not inclusive here. Please understand, it is starting away from 0. It can be 0.01 like this. If you put x as less than 0, whenever you put whatever value you put x as less than 0, you will always get negative 1. Y will always be negative 1. When you put x equal to 0, actually, you will get a 0. So x is 0, y is 0. X is greater than 0, y is 1. X is less than 0, y is negative 1. So you are going to get 3 functions, 3 constant functions out of this signum function. So signum function is a combination of 3 functions, 3 constant function. Y equals 1, y equals 0, y equals minus 1. Sometimes we write it also as mod x by x if x is not equal to 0, and 0 if x equals 0. What does it mean? This is also a signum function. This is the way of writing, one of the way of writing a signum function. When you put x as 0, you are getting it as 0, y is 0. But when x is not equal to 0, it can either be positive, it can be either negative. It can be either left to 0 or right to 0. So x is positive. When it is a positive, it will be x by x, mod x will be x. It is going to give you 1. When it is negative, mod x will be negative x, negative x by x, you are going to get negative 1. So when you have x equals 0, y will be 0. When you have x greater than 0, y will be equal to 1. When you have this x less than 0, you are going to get negative 1. So you have three constant functions. Okay. So now coming to the plotting. How to plot this? Domain and range is very clear here. Domain, the function is not saying don't put this value. It is saying put any value. I am only giving you 3 values. So domain is all the real numbers which are possible in the world. And what is range? The function is saying I am going to give you 3 values, negative 1, 0, 1. Don't ask from me anything else. I can give you negative 1, 0, 1. How to make a graph? It is a combination of 3 graphs actually. One is a point, 2 are lines. This round means we are not including it. This round diagram, a circle. So when you put this x is 0, y will be 0. When you put x is greater than 0, y will be equal to 1. And when we have x less than 1, now again we are not including 0. So y will be equal to negative 1. So there are 2 lines, y equals 1, which is parallel to x-axis, but not going beyond y equals 0. Here y equals minus 1, you are getting a line which is parallel to x-axis but not going beyond this third quadrant. It will always be in third quadrant. The first line will always be in first quadrant. And the point we have, which is x equals to 0, y equals 0. So 3 things again. Negative 1, 0, 1, 3 line, 1 point and 2 lines here. That is why this is a very special function. So 1 point, 2 line, this is signum function giving you 3 results. Greatest integer function and smallest integer function. This is also known as the ceil function and floor function. So floor function is greatest integer function and ceil function is smallest integer function. Let me give you an idea here. How do you show it? So greatest integer function. So it is very clear that only the integer will be output. The range will always be integer. That is why it is greatest integer or smallest integer. So greatest integer function is floor function. Did I say ceiling earlier time? No. Greatest integer function is a floor function. The smallest integer function is a ceil function. Let us take an example here. Then only we will understand. This is how we show greatest integer function, the symbol. This is how we show the smallest integer function, that is the ceiling function. Greatest integer function, floor function, smallest integer function, ceil function is going to give you the floor and ceiling, that is only the integer value. Okay. So now you are standing here. This is your ceiling and where you are standing on a floor. There is a ceiling and a floor. This is your ceiling. So you will only get a ceiling in a smallest integer function. Always take that. In a greatest integer function, you will always take the floor. For example, you have a value, say 2.8. The 2.8 is a decimal number, it's a real number. But we are interested in an integer. So if we make a number line 0, 1, 2 and 3, 2.8 is between which two integers? It is between 2 and 3. 2 and 3. So when we talk about 2 and 3, what is the ceiling here? 3. What is the floor here? 2. So whenever you take floor, you don't talk about ceiling. You will not take 3. Always take 2. So this is a decimal value, real number value. And when you take the floor or a ceiling, you'll always take a Z. Z stands for the integer. So ceiling is 3 for 2.8, floor is 2. Okay. The higher value, just about 2.8, which is integer, is ceiling. The lower value, which is just below 2.8, is floor. Right? I hope you got the content here. Now, these two functions, both the functions are also called as step function. Why these are step function? Because the function will look like steps. If you want to find out the ceiling or floor of, say, some integer number 3, it will always come as 3 only. Decimal value, you will try to find out where to go. But an integer inside these two functions will always give you integer, because this function is meant to give you integer. So the real number can be passed. All real numbers can be passed. So the domain is real number. But as I'm saying, it will only give you what number? Only Z integers. So the output is Z. The range is Z. The range is integers. The input, that is the domain, is all real number. The output Z integer. So the range is Z. The function is from R to Z. This is domain and range. Now let us plot it. Let us plot it now. See, from here, I am taking the value from, I am drawing the greatest integer function now. Similarly, you can draw the smallest integer function. Understand this. I am from 0 to 1. What is 0? Greatest integer function? It is 0 only. What is the greatest integer function for 1? It will be 1. But what is the greatest integer function for 0.8? You have to see the floor. It will be 0. For 0.7, it will again be floor 0. For 0.1, it will again be 0. So wherever you start, it will be starting from 0 and till 1 it will come. 1 is not inclusive. 1 is not inclusive. Now coming from 1 to 2. If you take 1.1, it will be 1. It will be 1.5, it will be 1. 1.9, it will be 1. So between 1 and 2 value, it will always be 1 to 2, but 2 is not inclusive. 2, that is why a round is there. 2 is not inclusive. Now take one more, say 4 and 5. 4 and 5, that is why it is step. So 4, you take the greatest integer function, it will be 4, 5 will be 5. But we are interested in the values in between them. So 4.1, it will be 4. We are taking the floor. 4.5, it will be 4. 4.9, it will be 4. 4. So 4 to 5, it will always be 4. 4 to 5, it will be always be 4. So let me make it. This is not being shown here. So I have to make it. I have to start from 4 because always y will be 4. 4 to 5, I'll start from 4 and I'll go up to 5 but not include 5. 5 is not included here because 5 is the greatest integer function between 5 and 6. 5 will go to the next one. 5 is not included. From 4 till 4.99 or whichever is closest to 5, the decimal value, it will be this greatest integer function. Small steps. Now let us take -2 and -1. -2 and -1. What is the greatest integer function? We have to take the floor. Floor is what? The lower number. It is -2. It is -2. When you take -1.1, -1.1 is between negative, it will always you take the floor value, which is the lower value. And what is the lower value? It will be -2. See, -1, -2. Which is the lower value? -2 is the lower value, -1 is the higher value. We always take the lower value or the floor. So -1.1, the higher number here is inverted. -1 is the higher number, -2 is the lower number. So for -1.5 it will be -2. For -1.7 it will be -2. Okay. So always between -2 and -1, always it will be -2. But -1 is not inclusive because -1 will go for -1 to 0. So -1 is not included. Okay. This is called step function, greatest integer function, smallest integer function. Okay, this is all about the functions we have talked about. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.